Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking into Sony cameras.
Right.
From what I've seen, they're getting a lot of buzz out there,
Yeah,
and for good reason.
definitely.
You know, they're known for some really innovative technology, exceptional image quality,
Absolutely.
especially from what I've read, the Alpha series.
Yeah.
So if you're into photography, maybe thinking about getting a new camera, or just curious about the cutting edge,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to unpack all of that today.
Yeah, for sure. I think what's really exciting about Sony is that they're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with cameras.
Okay.
They're not just kind of iterating on existing technology. They're really innovating, and one of the key areas where they're doing that is with their sensors.
Okay.
And specifically their full frame sensors, which are, found in a lot of their alpha cameras like the A7 and A6000 series.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I kind of understand what a sensor is.
Right.
But like, why is a full frame sensor such a big deal?
Yeah. So think about it this way. The sensor is basically the heart of the camera.
Okay.
It's what captures the light and converts it into a digital image.
Gotcha.
And a full frame sensor is much larger than the sensors you'd find in most of their cameras, particularly like, smartphones and point and shoots.
Okay.
So imagine, you're trying to photograph a dimly lit concert.
Okay.
Full frame sensor is like having a much larger window to capture that light.
Uh-huh.
So it's able to pull in more light, which means you get a cleaner image with less noise and more detail.
So it's like it's almost like the difference between, trying to see in a dark room with like a tiny little peephole,
Right.
versus having like a big window to look through.
Exactly. Yeah, it's giving you more information to work with.
Gotcha.
And that translates to, better image quality overall.
Okay, so more light equals better photo, but it's not all about light, is it?
Right. No, there's a lot more to it than just light. One of the other key advantages of a full frame sensor is something called dynamic range.
Oh yeah, I've heard photographers talk about that, but I don't really know what it means.
Yeah, so dynamic range is basically the camera's ability to capture detail in both the highlights and the shadows of an image.
Okay.
So think about, you're trying to capture a landscape with, brilliant highlights in the sky and deep shadows in the foreground.
Yeah.
A full frame sensor with its greater dynamic range can capture detail in both of those extremes.
Okay.
Whereas a smaller sensor might blow out the highlights or crush the shadows.
Well, so you lose information.
Exactly. Yeah. You
Yeah.
lose detail and the image ends up looking kind of flat and lifeless.
Okay.
But with the full frame sensor, you get this, this beautiful range of tones and the image just pops with depth and realism.
So it's like the camera's seeing more than what our eyes can see, even.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
It's able to capture a wider range of light information than our eyes can perceive.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really remarkable technology.
Okay, well, that's light and dynamic range, but I mean, there's got to be more to taking a great photo than just those things, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more to it. It's composition and timing and storytelling.
Yeah.
But in terms of the technical capabilities of the camera,
Yeah.
one of the other things that Sony really excels at is autofocus.
Okay.
And specifically their autofocus system is really, really advanced.
Like how so?
Well, it uses artificial intelligence to predict movement
Wow.
and track subjects. So you can imagine like you're trying to capture a bird in flight,
Yeah.
something that's moving very quickly and erratically.
Yeah.
Sony's autofocus system can keep up with that and ensure that you get a tack sharp image.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's really incredible. And it's not just for action shots. It's also great for portraits and any situation where you want to make sure that your subject is perfectly in focus.
So it's not just keeping up, it's like anticipating where the subject is going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's almost like it's psychic.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Okay, so I mean, with all this incredible technology, all these advanced features, is it user friendly?
Yeah.
I mean, is it something that like a regular person who's not like a professional photographer can pick up and use?
That's a great question. And that's one of the things that I think Sony has done really well is they've managed to pack all this technology into bodies that are surprisingly compact and lightweight.
Okay.
So, you don't have to lug around a huge heavy camera to get professional quality results.
Gotcha.
And their menu system, which in the past has been a bit of a criticism of Sony cameras.
Yeah.
They've really streamlined it and made it much more user friendly.
Right.
So it's definitely a camera that anyone can pick up and learn to use.
So compact, powerful, user friendly.
Yeah.
What about creativity? I mean, we all know that lenses are like a photographer's best friend.
Absolutely.
What does Sony offer on that front?
So Sony has a really great lens system called the E-mount system.
Okay.
And they have a wide range of their own lenses, from wide angle to telephoto to macro lenses.
Okay.
But what's really great about the E-mount system is that it's also compatible with a huge variety of third-party lenses.
Oh, wow.
So you're not limited to just Sony's own lenses. You can choose from a vast selection of lenses from other manufacturers as well.
So it's like having a whole world of creative options right at your fingertips.
Exactly, yeah. You can really tailor your kit to your specific needs and shooting style.
Okay, so we've got exceptional image quality, advanced features that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out,
Right.
compact design, and a ton of lens options.
Tons.
Is there anything these cameras can't do?
Well, they can't make the coffee,
Okay.
but they can certainly capture the steam rising from your cup in stunning detail.
Okay.
But on a more serious note, one of the other things that Sony cameras do really well is connectivity. So you can easily transfer photos to your phone or your tablet for, quick edits or sharing on social media.
Nice.
And that's a feature that, you might not think about it too much when you're buying a camera, but it's something that you'll really appreciate having.
Right, yeah.
It just makes the whole process of sharing your photos so much easier.
So it's like they're really thinking about the entire user experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're really trying to create a seamless workflow for photographers.
So basically, it sounds like Sony cameras are like the Swiss Army knives of the photography world.
I think that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're versatile, they're reliable, and they're ready for anything.
Right.
And they've really set a high bar for the industry, and it makes you wonder, what's next? What's the next big leap in photography?
What is next?
Will be AI taking an even bigger role?
All right.
Or maybe something completely unexpected.
Who knows?
What are your thoughts?
That's a fantastic question to leave us with. What new horizon will photography conquer next?
Right.
Maybe you'll be the one to find out.
Maybe so.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Sony cameras.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now go out there and capture something amazing.
Cheers to that.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.